Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Not only have I been the owner of Mint Mobile for the last few years, I've also been a customer. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
New activation and upfront payment for 3-month plan required. Taxes and fees extra. Additional restrictions apply. See mintmobile.com for full terms.
'Tis the season to shine with H&M. Discover the holiday collection and find fashionable pieces for your wardrobe or for under the tree. Get inspired and dazzle with this year's glam. From tuxedo styles, bow detailed pieces, impressive prints, and more. From unforgettable looks to unforgettable gifts. With fashion finds to home decor, find it all at H&M. Treat your loved ones and yourself this season. Shop in-store or at hm.com. 'Tis the season to shine with H&M. Discover the holiday collection and find fashionable pieces for your wardrobe or for under the tree. Get inspired and dazzle with this year's glam. From tuxedo styles, bow detailed pieces, impressive prints, and more. From unforgettable looks to unforgettable gifts. With fashion finds to home decor, find it all at H&M. Treat your loved ones and yourself this season. Shop in-store or at hm.com.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Selling a little or a lot? Do your thing however you cha-ching with Shopify, the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout. 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. Get a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/offer23.
Between writing notes, filing insurance claims, and scheduling with clients, it can be hard to stay organized. That's why I recommend Therapy Notes. Their easy-to-use platform lets you manage your practice securely and efficiently. Visit therapynotes.com to get 2 free months of Therapy Notes today. Just use promo code JOE when you sign up for a free trial at therapynotes.com.
Have you ever thought, how did I manage to lose myself? Being a mom is so hard, especially when we're feeling stressed and disconnected. We exhaust ourselves trying to create this perfect life for our family. You deserve to enjoy your marriage and your kids without the stress perfectionism brings. I am going to teach you how to identify who you are outside of all of the roles you play. Hi, I'm Veronica Cisneros. I'm a wife, mother of 3, and a licensed marriage and family therapist. I am on a mission to teach women just like you how to become empowered and unapologetic. Welcome to our Girl Gang. I have to be honest, these last couple weeks have been challenging. I feel like every single session, every single hour has been met with some level of crisis. Crisis within my private practice, crisis within my VIP group. And with that, there's so many feelings that come up. And I'm sure that you've experienced the same thing. You know, we're all going through this extremely difficult time. We're still in the midst of a pandemic. And now we're in the middle of protests, rioters, looters, you name it. And there's so many mixed emotions that have come up for so many people. And we're left with, what do we do? How do we cope? How do we get through this? And I want to ask you a quick question. How are you? Like, really, how are you doing? Because I have to be honest, I've personally been met with so much emotion and at the same time, so much self-reflection. Today's current events have impacted all of us in so many different ways. We're all left with unanswered questions. There will never be a perfect time for us to speak up and share our voice with those that may or may not listen. And we all can become so frustrated and overwhelmed by a difference of opinions. And I've said this before, change does not happen unless change happens. And I'm sure you've listened to that several times on other different platforms. However, I'm going to ask you this. What changes need to be made? And I'm not saying that you need to go out and fix the world and figure it all out and have all of the answers. No, I'm going to tell you right now, I personally don't have the answers. However, I will ask, what changes need to be made for you personally? I'm not saying for your family. Let's start with you. Because obviously what we're doing isn't working. And I'm left with this question as to why. Is it because there's a lack of empathy and understanding? Is it because there's a lack of coping skills, this inability to regulate our own emotions? For me, the minute I don't feel heard, I get enraged and I shut down. And in those moments, it feels like I can't do anything different except for scream or retaliate. However, I know better, and I know that it's an active choice that I'm making, and it's actually a refusal to go ahead and pause. And I say that because I have helped others regulate their emotions. I have helped others identify their triggers. And so why is it at times it might be different for me? Well, because I'm met with all of these emotions that come up. And in that moment, the only thing I can think of is, how can I get rid of this emotion? Does that stand true for you as well? In those moments, I feel vulnerable and overwhelmed. And these emotions become so uncomfortable that I'm scared of being exposed and hurt, and I automatically shut down. And the problem with this is I allow anger, I allow those emotions to take over, and it limits my ability to move forward. And this has taken me some time to really, really hone in on and understand it, because so many times it felt like this light switch, and it was as if all rationale escaped me, and I was in this fight or flight response. I completely missed the freeze. Now, this will keep us all stuck. And I'm not saying that it's not okay to be mad. Yes, you can be mad. You can be mad as hell. However, do not allow your anger to control you. Hear me when I say that. Do not allow your anger to control you. This is a problem because no movement is made by frustration, especially when irritation builds. And this impacts not only us, it impacts our families, because we feel tight and tense and stressed all day. So I really want you to think about, how has this impacted you? Have you been short? Have you been easily irritated? Are you moody? Is it difficult for you to interact with your friends? Hell, is it difficult for you to even have a healthy conversation? Because I'm going to tell you right now, you're not alone. And I'm saying that because I as well have experienced something similar. And there are so many times I've had to reset. And so I wanted to go ahead and provide you with some level of insight. And to be honest, I wanted to provide you with answers. And then I decided, well, you know what? You got to be real. You got to be real, open, and honest, because you don't have the answers. And so although you don't have the answers, you do have the ability to teach, and you have the ability to go ahead and help others. And it might not be in this political way. However, it can be in a therapeutic way, where I'm not necessarily telling you what to do. I'm guiding you. And this is something that I've had to do not only in my private practice, but I've also had to do for the ladies that I meet with once a week in our live coaching calls. And those ladies that are in my VIP group, they've all processed the feelings and the emotions that they're currently experiencing. And they all are left with this lack of inability to control them. And so I'm going to share with you some steps that I've provided in my VIP group. So get a paper and pen out, because I really want you to write these steps down, and I want you to implement them into your life. So here we go. Your first step. Process what you are experiencing with somebody you trust, someone who is non-judgmental and will listen to understand versus argue. It is important for all of us to process our feelings. The minute you let go, you allow your body to reset, bringing down the tightness and tension you are experiencing so that you're not so easily triggered. Step 2, identify what is in your control and what is completely out of your control. Sometimes we tend to believe that we have the power to change others. And I'm going to tell you right now, we don't. So I want you to think about, how are you going to educate yourself? How are you going to go ahead and make this move to control yourself? Because ultimately, that's all we have control over. And by you doing this and repeating this over and over, you are now modeling something different for your children and for your partner. Again, the only thing you have control over is yourself. Remember, you can't teach what you don't know. Step 3, are my thoughts based off of emotions or something that is 100% fact? And this is where I really want you to write down whatever thoughts come up for you, because if you're able to challenge the thoughts that come up for you, then you're able to go ahead and assign it a percentage. Is this 100% true? Because if it's not true, then I'm able to challenge it. The other thing, what is this emotion based off of? Is it based off of how I'm feeling? Because if it's based off of my emotions, then it's automatically distorted. I'm going to tell you right now, and I don't know if this is what you experience, but when I'm at this heightened level of frustration, my thoughts can go all out of whack. And all of these negative thoughts, this negative self-talk can come in and take over if I allow it. And so this is why I'm educating you on how to really tap into that thought process. And the minute you're able to tap into that thought process, well, you're able to make healthy decisions and differentiate between irrational thoughts and rational thoughts. Step 4, what are you going to do to take action? What is the one thing you're going to do? It doesn't have to be crazy big. Let's start small. And this is not what others want you to do or what they are encouraging you to do to take action. This is what you truly want to do right now. And it's not to offend people. It's not to manipulate others. It's really to provide you this space of independence. And this can be difficult, especially when we hear other people in our heads criticizing us or ordering us to do something different. And only you can determine this. So I need you to listen more. Do I need to educate myself more? Or am I ready to teach others? Remember, right now, so many feelings of uncertainty can get in the way of thinking rationally. And this is why self-reflection is extremely important. Be honest with where you are. And it's okay because you are not going to stay there. Last step is step 5. What are my values? I want you to think about what's important to you, about who you are. We can easily be manipulated or misled. What are my values? Is this in line with what I value? Because if it's not, then I need to take a moment of pause. And that might literally be a couple minutes, a couple seconds, or an entire day until you're ready to go ahead and make a decision based off of your values. I think it's important for us to understand that we are all hurting, some more than others, and there are things that we don't 100% understand. So if we can truly take the time to learn from one another, then we will experience change and grow. Lastly, I wanted to share a story with you, and it's a story of the two wolves. Have you ever heard of it? If you haven't, here it goes. An old grandfather said to his grandson, who came to him with anger at a friend who had done him an injustice, "Let me tell you a story. I too at times have felt a great hate for those that have taken so much, with no sorrow for what they do. But hate wears you down and does not hurt your enemy. It is like taking poison and wishing your enemy would die. I have struggled with these feelings many times. He continued, "It's as if there are two wolves inside me. One is good and does no harm. He lives in harmony with all around him and does not take offense when no offense was intended. He will only fight when it is right to do so and in the right way. But the other wolf, he is full of anger. The littlest thing will set him off into a fit of temper. He fights everyone all the time for no reason. He cannot think because his anger and hate are so great. It is helpless anger, for his anger will change nothing. Sometimes it is hard to live with these two wolves inside me, for both of them try to dominate my spirit." The boy looked intently into his grandfather's eyes and asked, "Which one wins, grandfather?" The grandfather smiled and quietly said, "The one I feed." "Which one will you feed?" What's up, ladies? Just want to let you guys know that your ratings and reviews for this podcast are greatly appreciated. If you love this podcast, please go to iTunes right now and rate and review. Thank you, guys. Many women lose their own identity in the shadow of being a mom and a wife. We are a community of women who support each other. We leave perfectionism behind to become empowered and unapologetic. I know you're ready for the next steps. If you want to become empowered and unapologetic, get my free course, Unapologetically Me, over at empoweredandunapologetic.com/course. This podcast is designed to provide accurate and authoritative information in regards to the subject matter covered. This is given with the understanding that neither the host, practice of the practice, or the guest are providing legal, mental health, or other professional information. If you need a professional, you should find one.
Addiction impacts all of us. Addiction's consequences run through all of us. From ourselves to our loved ones and through our communities, addiction creates so much loss and grief. My name is Dwayne Osterlin, and I'm the host of the Addicted Mind podcast, a show featuring personal stories, expert guests, and vital information about addiction and addiction recovery. We'll talk with leading treatment providers to discuss the latest research and treatment options for this devastating disease and advocate for mental health awareness. We discuss topics like the importance of creating a community of support to helping loved ones to some of the latest research on psychedelic medicines. The Addicted Mind podcast has been about creating hope, listening to stories of many amazing people that have overcome addiction and are thriving. If you or a loved one is struggling with addiction, subscribe to the Addicted Mind podcast wherever you get your podcasts, or check out theaddictedmind.com. New episodes every Monday. See you there.
Hey there. This is Casey McGuire Davidson, host of the Hello Someday podcast. I'm an ex-red wine girl turned life coach who helps busy women change their relationship with alcohol. I spent 20 years climbing the corporate ladder while drinking a bottle of wine a night to unwind. In the Hello Someday podcast, my goal is to teach you the tried and true secrets of creating and living a life you don't want to escape from. Each week, I'll bring you tools, lessons, and conversations to help you drink less and live more. I'll teach you how to navigate our drinking-obsessed culture without a buzz and how to turn the decision to stop drinking from your worst-case scenario to the best decision of your life. You can find new episodes of the Hello Someday podcast every Thursday, wherever you listen, and I hope you check it out. Hey there. This is Casey McGuire Davidson, host of the Hello Someday podcast. I'm an ex-red wine girl turned life coach who helps busy women change their relationship with alcohol. I spent 20 years climbing the corporate ladder while drinking a bottle of wine a night to unwind. In the Hello Someday podcast, my goal is to teach you the tried and true secrets of creating and living a life you don't want to escape from. Each week, I'll bring you tools, lessons, and conversations to help you drink less and live more. I'll teach you how to navigate our drinking-obsessed culture without a buzz and how to turn the decision to stop drinking from your worst-case scenario to the best decision of your life. You can find new episodes of the Hello Someday podcast every Thursday, wherever you listen. And I hope you check it out.
I know we've been taught that motherhood requires alcohol. I know we've been taught not to question our relationship with alcohol until we've lost everything. And I know we've been taught that if we do dare to examine our relationship with alcohol, we need to head straight to AA and declare ourselves an alcoholic who is powerless to alcohol forever. But what if all that isn't true? That's definitely not my story. I'm Suzanne, the host of the Sober Mom Life podcast. I'm an influencer who stopped drinking in January 2020, and since then, I've been telling the truth about motherhood, influencing, alcohol, and sobriety. If you suspect deep down that glass or 3 of wine at night might just be making motherhood harder, well, you're right. Come and join me as I chat with other sober and sober-curious moms. Let's laugh, cry, and normalize sobriety together, all while we reheat our coffee for the 4th time today.
Addiction impacts all of us. Addiction's consequences run through all of us. From ourselves to our loved ones and through our communities, addiction creates so much loss and grief. My name is Dwayne Osterlin, and I'm the host of the Addicted Mind podcast, a show featuring personal stories, expert guests, and vital information about addiction and addiction recovery. We'll talk with leading treatment providers to discuss the latest research and treatment options for this devastating disease and advocate for mental health awareness. We discuss topics like the importance of creating a community of support, to helping loved ones, to some of the latest research on psychedelic medicines. The Addicted Mind podcast has been about creating hope, listening to stories of many amazing people that have overcome addiction and are thriving. If you or a loved one is struggling with addiction, subscribe to the Addicted Mind podcast wherever you get your podcasts, or check out theaddictedmind.com. New episodes every Monday. See you there.
Oh, hey, it's Erin.
And I'm Michaela, and we're the hosts of the Two Sober Girls podcast, and we are on a mission to spill the wild truth about sobriety.
Forget the rosé all day cliche. Sobriety is flipping amazing.
Absolutely. It's not just about quitting the drink. It's a gift you give yourself and your loved ones.
So what are you waiting for? Break up with that old toxic relationship with alcohol and let us show you the possibilities.
And here's the thing. Everything your precious heart desires becomes way easier without the influence of alcohol.
We're not just two sober girls, we're also wellness coaches. We're here to show you how to optimize health, lifestyle, and beauty, feel sexy and alive as F.
So stay tuned, because we're rolling out new episodes every Monday wherever you get your podcasts, and trust us, they have your name written all over them. We can't wait to share the magic of sobriety and wellness with you. Subscribe to Two Sober Girls podcast today and come follow us on Instagram for behind the scenes action and send us a DM. We can't wait to meet you.